rebuilt it. It's not the most solid thing. Uh, but you know, I think it won't blow over. What do you think, mailbox? Did I do A plus work? My chair bumped into something broke already. Guys, it's gonna work, okay? Now, what I'm thinking is... we could theoretically just YOLO it from here. If I use like a roll of duct tape, I guarantee this thing will be solid. We got the poles, we got the wheels, we got all the framework kind of in place. We just need to kind of tape things tight. I just don't feel like spending that much time on this, you know? Because we can always add little improvements over time. That's what I'm thinking. Everything's quick and dirty I'm trying to do. Unlike Adam, where everything has to be perfect, made from scratch, polished. This thing is not that kind of project. So between this pole right here and the one over there, the two front ones, like where I'm sitting will be where the car is. Where the two copper poles are in the back, that will be like where I'm sitting when I work on the car. And the only problem is this can spin, or this can rotate that way and that way, because there's no support this way. So that's why I just stuck that pole there as a temporary placeholder, and I can just put some tape between the cross pole, the horizontal pole I just kind of sat in place, and the two verticals, so that it can't swing this way. That's all. And I think that will pretty much make it perfect then. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. I mean, when you put a tent together, you have to do a lot of snapping and a lot of tying off, right? A lot of that kind of thing. Even like the tent corners, you have to tie off onto the poles, right? You have to actually physically tie knots and everything. This is the same thing, just a little bit of tape here and there, a little bit of wire twisting. It's not as well engineered as a canopy tent, where you just pull it out and it's just done, and then little snaps snap out. It was leaning toward that, but the two poles closest to me aren't that kind of style, so it kind of doesn't work like that. It won't work that way. Because with the canopy tent, you have one pole sliding inside of another pole, and the outermost pole has the clamping system, and that's decoupled from the innermost pole, which it does work that way for my copper pole setup with the back two poles. So those are really ideal for this. But then the steel poles I used for the ones, the two poles closest to me, that type of system doesn't work for that. So yeah. Man, I'm so tired. What the heck? I was supposed to build an awning system coming out toward me off these two black poles. This one and the one over there. The awning would reach out this way and go across the car. But I'm not feeling like it for some reason. I'm not in the mood, if you will. But should I be in the mood? I don't know. The whole accordion system with the crisscrossy things, I didn't make that. So I'm trying to retrofit that onto my design, and that was not part of my original design. And that's kind of where a lot of our hangups are coming from. I was originally just planning to make kind of like when you separate a ladder and the two, there's like two metal bars that push and then lock straight, and then the ladder is fully separated. Like the ladders that open up like this, and then they set down. They've got a little two poles that meet in the center on a hinge, and that's how they lock in. And that was supposed to be my design, but now this crisscrossy thing, the accordion thing that we're using, it's just like hard to work with, and it's not compatible with how I did the vertical pulls. So I'm like just trying to improvise for now until we can probably replace the accordion things with a latching system like my original design had. But I feel like the accordion things are kind of nice in their own way. There are some merits, but they're overcomplicating things in some other ways. I might just get used to setting this up quickly, and it might not be a big deal just to leave it as is, though. You never know. I'm tempted just to bring it outside how it is, throw a bunch of tarp and stuff over it, and then throw it up on the wheels and figure out how to latch it onto the ground and stuff, and then figure out how to really pull the tarp down nice and snug and figure out the whole tarp system in general, and plan out where I'm going to put my tools and my chairs and stuff and everything that's in the tent, and just start setting everything up. I feel like we could actually do that at this point.